I think he's about to slip away from us. Let's go ahead and take a shot. We are super close to this animal. Boom. Oh, okay, now he just went hostile. So we need to defend ourselves. I'm going to grab my knife, wield that in my hand. Welcome to the channel, everybody. My name is Ryan, and we are back with some more RimWorld. And we are joined by Canute the Destroyer. And we just destroyed a pig in our very first successful hunt. Right in the last episode, you can see we've got a 206-pound sow carcass. She's a big boy, but luckily Canute is bigger, so his physical profile, pretty impressive. He's not totally maxed out on everything, but this was just a compromise in time and, not wanting to sit there and roll forever and wanting to get into the unreal world. So here we are. So far, we're doing the good. Now, overall, the goal of this series is to destroy the Njerpez, who happen to be this very purplish colored culture right over here, who we haven't uncovered yet. I haven't been over here and explored. We're just getting started, so there's a lot of preliminary work that we need to do before we can start attacking them. And hunting up some animals is pretty much the number one priority at this point. So we've got ourselves a pig. We've got the location of the herd marked. You can see they're still there. There's a couple there, and more importantly, there's still some of our arrows laying around, which I'd like to scoop back up. But since it's warm out here, in fact, it's darn near hot. Yeah, we're sweaty. Our character's sweaty. We need to get this pig carcass back to the nearest village and process it ASAP. So you can see here on the map, these little yellow squares indicate the villages. This is us, the red circle. So we're just south of the nearest village. This will be the base where we set up, do some smoking, and obviously I'm going to have to prepare the skin there. So hopefully they've got a little water source. But let's move it and get inside the settlement. Alright, well, we have arrived here at the nearest friendly village, and I can tell already that they have a water source for us to use, so that's going to be extremely handy. I can just drop the pig right here by the little puddle, and we don't have to worry about this small spot drying up or anything like that. All the water sources are infinite, essentially. Alright, so let's not waste any more time. We will drop the wild sow carcass. I'm going to skin it first. Of course, you've always got to skin it before you butcher it. If you forget and you accidentally butcher the animal first, well, then you've just wasted the skin. But let's check it out and see what quality. We got ourselves a fine wild sow skin. Very nice, very nice. So our skills in hide working are pretty good. Definitely above average. We're at 60%, and it says we're skilled at it. So, with that being the case, let's go ahead. Now, I do need to butcher the animal too, so we can get the fat off of the carcass. Then we'll use that fat to actually help tan the skin itself. I'm also going to pick up the bones. And let's go ahead and process the skin before we smoke the meat. This way, I can kind of smoke the meat in between the different stages of tanning here. So, we'll tan the... oh, no, I'm sorry. First, we need to clean it. There. Alright, so we'll take care of that. Alright, there we go, and the skin is finished. Well, it's finished for that stage. It'll take, won't be ready till late evening, so now I need to locate a place they have a fire set up going. Does this little structure have a fire? There we go, perfect. So I have a few pieces of cordage on me, a little over 10 pounds of cordage, I would say, or close to. So hopefully that's enough to actually smoke all this meat. But honestly, I think we need to rest before we try and give it a shot. So we're going to have a little bit of dinner. I'm probably going to go back out there and take a drink from the puddle real quick. But it is time for some sleep. Well, good morning, everybody. It is the next day, and I went ahead and smoked the meat while everybody was asleep. We also roasted up a bit of the cuts, too. So right now we've got about 7.5 pounds of roasted pig, but that's going to go pretty quickly. So I think right away we need to get back out there and hunt another one of those pigs or just anything else we happen to come across. But first of all, let's take a little dip in the water source here. There we go. That cools us off a bit because we are in the height of basically summer or early fall where it's still pretty warm. But let's go ahead and process this skin. We've got a couple more stages. Now we have to let it soak, and this will be ready by noon. So we've got a little bit of time to kill. And then the last stage is going to be beating it out with a stone or a club. But I've got a stone right here, so we'll just grab this, so that way we're prepared. And we need a surface to beat the skin out onto, but we can use one of these tables here inside the cottage. So this is going to be our little impromptu base here. Obviously, we've got to share it with the villagers who have constructed it so kindly for us, but I'm going to mark it here so it's easy for me to remember exactly, oops, where the smoked meat I've got is, because the meat itself, as we'll see here momentarily, does take quite a few days. Yeah, 15 days. So we're looking at a full 2 weeks before this meat is ready for consumption. And don't worry, if you go a little bit over and you leave it there, the villagers won't touch it. They won't bother it or eat any of it. So now one thing that you do have to worry about is you get some bones and you want to keep them for whatever reason, you better pick them up, because if the village has any dogs, they'll eat those bones. All right, well, it is now noon. I spent a little bit of time just gathering up some more saplings for cordage down the road, because if we're going to be killing more animals, we're going to need a lot more cordage. But I also gathered up a little bit of firewood, placed it next to this fireplace. That's for me, not the villagers. Typically, the villagers will keep their own fires going well enough that you don't have to worry about spoilage, but sometimes I have had cuts spoil. I guess they don't always start the fires, but anyway, I just set a little bit of firewood up so that I can start them if I ever notice that the fireplace is cold. Of course, if the game mechanic is when you're smoking meat in a cabin like this, you've got to keep it smoky. So you basically need to light a fire once a day. But anyway, like I said, it is noon, so our little skin should be ready. And it is definitely little. 3.5 pounds of pig skin isn't very much. And another thing to consider too is this is going to turn into pig leather, not fur, which of course is distinctly different. And it would be good if we could start getting our hands on some fur, actually, because the winter's coming up. So we've got to get a little bit more clothing and stuff. But it's always good to have some leather, too. I know that for making skis for the winter, we'll need some leather. So there we go. We have, let's see, got a piece of wild sow leather. Very nice. It did lose the fine modifier from when we originally skinned it, but that's okay. Sometimes that does happen. Now, I'm going to keep it on me, even though it is kind of just extra dead weight. But what I'd like to do, just for the sake of role-playing and feeling like we're more independent, is I'm going to set up a shelter somewhere closer down towards the hunting grounds where we found the original pig. But just because, like I said, I'd like to keep all my loot and stuff somewhere separate. But we're not going to be constructing our own cabin in this series. No, no, no. We're just going to be conquering different village settlements. So we're going to have our pick of multiple different cabins by the time this series is done. So, and of course, we'll have to move too. So, as we start to hit the outer perimeter of their culture, we'll set up a camp right here, something like that, or we'll move into a fallen settlement. But once we get closer and closer towards the edge, we're going to need to reestablish a base, in the center of their culture. So, we're essentially going to be leading a very nomadic lifestyle. But like I said, ultimately we're going to have just a kingdom of dead ruined structures left in our wake. So that'll be fun. But yeah, this is the site of the last pig hunt. So I say we jump back in here. We're actually getting a little bit tired and stuff. But that's okay. We've got plenty of endurance, so maybe we can spot some more pigs. All right, well, as I mentioned, I constructed a little bit of a shelter out here in the large pine mire area that we've established as our current hunting grounds. But my guy is definitely tired, and as you can see, it's rainy, so it's good to have little shelters like this dotted throughout the map so that if the weather is bad, you can still get a full night's rest without waking up. And we are close enough, I think, to our little village that I'm going to drop some of the excess stuff I don't need to carry. And we'll just treat this camp as kind of our own little treasure stash where we keep all our stuff for now. I'll drop that. And I'm going to go ahead and turn these saplings into cordage real quick before we head out on another hunt. But that won't take me more than a moment or two, and we're going to be right out there. First place we're going to check is the pig mark, which isn't too far from this current location. All right, well, we have entered the location that I had marked on the map. And as we zoom out, immediately I see 3 arrows that I've got to get. Looks, oh, and there's some pigs right there to the southeast. Very nice. So I am going to try and scoop up these arrows before we actually go on the hunt. This isn't deep water, so I don't have to swim or anything like that. But if it were the winter or deep fall, I would be a lot a lot more hesitant to get into these waters without like having the ability to start a fire and warm up. But right now, it's totally okay. So I'm going to grab, that's 3 arrows. I feel like there's probably 1 or 2 more around here, but that's good enough. So we are ready to get this hunt underway. Let's take a look at some of these animals, because I know I took a shot at multiple pigs in this pack. There we go. So this one's carrying an arrow. It is injured, but it's not crippled or anything. Nonetheless, I think this will be our target. Let's see. Can't go into stealth. I'm clearly seen from this location, but just keeping my eye on that pig there. I want to get a little closer. Okay, so the pig we're targeting has now started to sprint, it looks like. There we go. Yeah, let's check this other one. Okay. I'll try a shot from here. Let's go. We might get lucky. Boom. There we go. Target that one. Body shot. Oh, we actually hit it. Wow. Dang, that's pretty good shooting. Okay, serious puncture in the thorax and a puncture in the hip. Still not crippled or lame or anything, but now it's time for the grueling pursuit. Oh boy, well check this out. This is not our target pig, but this guy has gotten a little bit confused and is running basically in circles here, right in this little peninsula, that little offshoot. Happens a lot, and you'll see that when animals get near the water. Oftentimes they'll get a little bit confused when they're panicking. But let's take a quick peek at this guy. It's totally uninjured, but he is fatigued, so that's good. He's about midway to breathlessness. So I might be able to sneak up on him. I'm hesitant to even shoot him here, but maybe that's my best bet. I think he's about to slip away from us. Let's go ahead and take a shot. We are super close to this animal. Boom. Oh, okay, now he just went hostile. So we need to defend ourselves. I'm going to grab my knife, wield that in my hand, and now it's prompting me with a combat. Do we dodge it, counter-strike with the knife, or ignore it? We're going to dodge. And it fails to charge you efficiently, and we dodge it like a swan. Okay. Apparently swans are very good at charging. Now I'm going to zoom out because these pigs come in groups, and when you get one of them hostile, others can get hostile too. So I'd really like to turn around and look behind me real quick, but I'm not going to do that just yet. We will check it in a moment, but let's get on to the offensive here. So I'm going to hit him with my knife. I'm going to go blunt to the head. Okay, so we actually hit it, and typically the pigs are cowards. So in other words, once you hit it, it's going to flee. There he goes. Yeah, you can see him running. Let's take a quick look at him again. Okay, he's still fatigued. He's walking lame now. That's extremely good. That blow that we gave him with our knife was pretty good. All right, so now we will chase him. I'm going to keep my knife wielded because I have a feeling this pig is done for. We're going to be able to run him down, and I'm just going to melee him. Oh, yeah, we're getting him. Let's look at him again. I think he's probably very fatigued. Yep. Nice. Let's go. All right, pursuing. There's 2 pigs to the east. I see them now. They're not hostile yet, but got to keep my eyes on them. I don't like the fact that they're so close, because once I do start hitting him, they will probably go hostile. So we'll zoom in a little bit, but not too much. Let's take a swipe at him. Blunt. Let's try and bring him down to the legs. There we go. He's unconscious. All right, those pigs are now fleeing, so they're a little bit scared. We look good from the backside. All right, got to be extremely careful here. I do not want to die this early on. That would be embarrassing. So let's repeat the previous. Actually, no, scratch that. We're going to go for a blunt shot to the head, to the skull there. And we'll repeat that until this pig is dead. Come on. There it is. All right, the pig is dead. Let's pick it up. Nice. Oh, this guy is such a beast. I tell you what. Whoops. Yep, look at this. His endurance and strength might not be quite maxed out, but the overall size of his body helps to compensate for that. So he is still capable of some pretty impressive physical feats here. So we have got our second pig kill. Very, very nice. And there was what, like only a day or two after the first one. So now we know the routine. We're going to head back to village, process the pig, and very likely we'll come right back to this spot for hopefully a third hunt. And the smoked meat is being prepared back at our friendly village up to the north. We are here at the campsite, as you can see. I got a log next to me in case we need to do any processing of furs or anything. And I did go out into the woods, grab some more saplings. I also peeled some alder bark off some trees. It's just good to have that in case I need to preserve any of these furs that I'm planning on getting here in the near future. During the hotter months like this, sometimes if you get multiple big kills back to back, it can be hard to juggle like getting all the meat prepared and getting all the skins, treated. So sometimes it's good to have some curing options around. But anyway, with that said, we're going to drop off the newest sow leather. So that's 7 pounds of sow leather. I think the next big kill we get some meat from, which will be that first pig, once we get that, I'm going to trade for some cordage, and we're going to start making a little bit of our own clothing and stuff. But eventually we won't have to worry about crafting too much because we're going to be so wealthy after our first couple of raids. That, yeah, like I said, no more crafting. We'll just be able to trade for the best goods in the world. So, anyway, with that said, let's get back out on the hunt. Oh, yeah, here we go. Right into the herd of pigs. And I'm going to take a shot at this one to the north. He happens to be the injured one. Sound asleep. Let's go. Oh, we nailed him, I think. Where'd he go? He turned into the shadows. Let's check that out. All right, 2 arrows. Yeah, he's pretty injured. All right, that's our target. All right, let's check him out. And we've got him at the fatigued level. Very nice. And now he is very fatigued. And now we've got him breathless. All right, we have done it. There is our third pig kill. And we can go ahead and pick this one up too. Awesome. His strength never fails to impress me. Okay, back to the village. Well, now check this out. Oh, yeah, so I've been doing some serious hunting. We have now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pig leathers right here. Unfortunately, there's one harsh quality at this location, but there are 2 fine quality ones in this pile as well. So I've been doing a lot of work here hunting that pack of pigs, but I think they're gone. There were a couple left that I didn't kill all of them, but I've been searching the area now a couple of hours and they're not there anymore. So I think they've dispersed, and I've down to 6 total arrows. So there's still a couple out there in the wilderness, but I think we're probably safe to go ahead and remove the marker here that says pigs and arrows on it. So if I hit A, it's going to ask me which one do I want to select. I'll hit B, and I'm just going to hit the delete button. There we go. So now we're just left with one marker here in this area, and it's for our little base camp. But that's been a pretty fruitful area, no doubt about it. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the leathers off, and let's head up to the village real quick, and I'll show you the food that is being prepared and how much longer we've got to wait on that. All right, well, we have arrived at the friendly village where we got our meat preparing. So let's head up to the cabin here. Just take a quick peek. Yep, fire's still burning, so our NPC's friends are definitely keeping it going for us. That's very nice. You can see I've got my cordage here, which is getting low. I'm going to need to keep collecting it as we go. You can see I'm constantly cutting down saplings whenever I see them. But we've got, I think, 6 piles of meat here. Yeah, 6 pig kills, so 6 piles. There are currently displayed 5, so there's one more that's going to pop up in a moment. But one stack's at 15 days. The nearest one is 7 days away. then 9, 10, 11 days, and the last one's 15 days away. So you can see they're staggered just a little bit out, but 7 days. So that's when we will be able to kind of leave the area for a little bit and do some exploring. So one of the most important aspects of fighting the Njerpez, if you do want to truly do some serious raiding, is to explore your allies' territory. So we need to locate every village here in the the Remi culture. That's this dark green color. That's these guys. So we need to open up every one of those, know the location, and just for my own benefit too, I'm going to talk to them all and see which ones sell animals, and I'll mark those just as I've done here with little red X's telling me, there you go, this one has a dog for sale. These people here sell sheep, and of course the ones which are blank, they just don't sell animals. But either way, it's going to take time, and we need food that, because we can't necessarily be hunting while we're exploring. It's not really efficient to do that. So I'm going to wait for that big pile, that first pile of pig meat, and then we're going to set off and explore the Remi culture. Now, there is a reason for that, which I won't go into too much detail about, but it's all down to timing. We've got to time out our attacks because the mercenaries we hire only stay with us for about 4 days. And the next step later down the road, probably after we get some more kills, is to come over here and explore the enemy's territory too. That will be the final stage before actually launching our assault.
Prepare to charge!
Sir, we haven't been given that order.
Charge!
But we're still a long ways away from that. So it's been a pretty successful episode today. Oh, and I should note, I did get a little beat up in some of those pig hunts, but nothing serious. We'll recover from these punctures pretty quickly over time. I don't even really need to treat them because, like I said, they're pretty minor. So it's all good here in the Unreal world. Pretty good spot to end today's episode, I think, on a nice high note with our successful hunts and stuff. But we're going to continue hunting for a while, and like I say, look forward to some exploration in the near future. So thank you so much for joining me here in my brand new Unreal World series with Canute the Destroyer. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. And of course, I will see you guys on the next episode.